Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and I just walked out of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and I'm super excited. This is my spoiler-free review, so no spoilers here. Spoiler talk coming on Saturday. Me and my wife Laura, we're gonna spoiler talk this movie to all else, so it's gonna be super exciting. Right now, spoiler-free review. So, overall, I really liked this movie. It was really fun. It had great action. It had a great overall feel to it. So, as long as I'm talking about those positives, let's jump more into those positives. First off, it was a really good story. I mean, we already know the story that they're getting the plans for the Death Star, and, you know, we really know how it ends. They do succeed because you see that in episode 4, because obviously Princess Leia has the Death Star plans. She puts the plans on R2-D2 and he goes to the planet, they get Obi-Wan, and boom, we have an original trilogy. So the movie builds up to something that we know how it's going to go, but we don't know how it's going to get there. And that is where the story of this movie takes place. And I thought overall it was well told, it was well structured, and well acted for the most part. So since we're in the positives, let's look at Jen Erso, Felicity Jones. She did a fantastic job. She was a strong character, and you know, she plays that typical character where at the beginning of this, she's burned out on this. She's burned out on the rebellion. She's tired of this. She's tired of politics. We do have that typical plot, but I think they do it well, and she portrays it well, so it's not even bothersome that's the plot. I like why she's burnt out. I won't tell you that because that would be a spoiler, but she's just burnt out. But then she begins just to get her hope rekindled and that fire rekindled, and we do get to kind of see that process, and we get to see that point where it really gets rekindled in her. And like that kind of transformation and characters and things like that to me is really, really cool. And this movie was really strong on the good characters. Like Alan Tudyk voiced that robot K2SO. Just one of my favorite things about him is he has these elements where he's like C3PO, where he's like, the odds of our survival of this are blah, 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 blah. And everybody's like, shut up, don't tell me the odds, you know? So you got that old nod to the Star Wars and things like that, but he's also like R2-D2 and that he's adventurous. So he's not like C3PO where he always wants to linger behind. He kind of wants to go into the fray. So he's got the best of both those characters, but he does have his own unique comedy and his own unique sense of humor and his own unique just style. It's not all about him being the comedic relief. He good action moments and things like that. Alan Tudyk did a fantastic job voicing him. I love Alan Tudyk, and I was really excited when I saw his name on the credits list for this, and he did not disappoint. Donnie Yen was another one who I think probably was my favorite character in this movie. I just thought he was fantastic. You have that moment in the trailer, and it's even more powerful in the context of the movie, where he's like, I'm not afraid. All this as the Force wills it. And just the way he uses the Force. No, he's not like a Jedi. He doesn't move things with his mind and things like that. But he's in touch with it. He's in tune with the Force. Like, he can sense things. He flows with it. It's just, they portrayed him as a man of faith, and they portrayed it well without it being some kind of weird, preachy, boring element. It was an awesome, strong, adding character and heart to it. Like, he was like the heart of the group, and I really liked him. And he had a partner in this movie. You see him a lot in the trailer too. And those two together had so much chemistry. It was really good. So a lot of the cast had a really good chemistry with each other, which really jived well. Am I from the 70s? Jived well? What on earth? But, like, a lot of that was really, really good. I don't know what else to say now, other than the flippin' visuals are amazing. I thought they did a perfect mix of throwing in CGI and practical effects, because a lot of the aliens and things like that were practical effects. Or, if they weren't, the CGI was just that good, but it looked very practical to me. Then the places where they use CGIs, like for the ships and things like that, they brought back characters like General Tarkin. I was staring really hard at the screen, and I was like, yep, I think that is CGI. I mean, that's how good it was. And it was really cool to see General Tarkin back. And, you know, so like the ships and a couple other moments where they used CGI, they used it well. I didn't feel like it was overdone with CGI. It was just a good mix of that and the practical effects. So a good nod to how the original Star Wars trilogy was made, but also, you know, leading into the future with the amazing things that we could do now. I mean, you see a lot of it in the trailer, the amazing shots and angles that they take from the different perspective of the Death Star, how the Death Star works, what it's like for everybody else with the Death Star. Like, a lot of that stuff was just so good. So, yeah, so what are my negatives? I didn't have a ton, and most of them are kind of nitpicky. Like, Jen Erso's father, I don't know. I don't know if it felt like he phoned it in. It just felt like he wasn't all in or something. I don't know. There's just something about it where his character didn't fully draw me in. Forrest Whitaker's character, I was not a... he was a good emotional point, but at the same time, there was something about the way he portrayed it, or the way he was told to portray it, that just, something about it did not really work for me, and it just didn't, I don't know, it felt weird to me. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but that's just kind of how I felt watching Forrest Whitaker. And Cassian, is it Cassian or Cassius? What is his name? Calcio, Calrizo, Rizzo, Corinthian Leather, Cassian. I don't know, he wasn't a super weak character, but for having to play opposite Jyn Erso, he just didn't match her strength. Like, I just felt like, in the whole group of Rogue One, the whole group of people that were there and part of that, I felt like he was the weakest link. It didn't ruin things for me. I just was looking at him like, I don't know. Like, he just wasn't very strong to me. But he had a strong supporting cast around him, which really helped hold him up. So, I mean, I guess things like that are my negatives. And that's just me being kind of nitpicky, because overall, I had a super fantastic, awesome time with this movie. It just felt like watching a fun old Star Wars movie. It's a prequel that allows me to forget the other prequels even existed. The way they did Vader, the way they used him in this movie, it was awesome. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. I felt like it was great the way they utilized him. So it felt like I was watching just the original Star Wars, and it was really fun for me to watch that. So I'm giving it an A-. It's definitely something I would love to own, and I'm going to actively look for a chance to see it again on the big screen. If you saw Rogue One, a Star Wars story, I'm so used to saying Star Wars first, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Who's your favorite character? Let me know that as well. While you're there, hit that subscribe button and become a Durbanian. And we got lots of great videos on the way, like I said earlier. Saturday, going to be doing the spoiler talk of Rogue One with my wife, Laura. Then coming up on Sunday, I'm actually going to be on Sean Chandler's channel. Sean Chandler talks about him and a couple other awesome YouTubers that I'm super excited about. And we're going to get all in depth about Rogue One. So that's going to be really cool. This is going to be a Rogue One talking weekend. And then we got all kinds of other great videos coming up here. Great Christmas reviews still on the way. So definitely hit that subscribe button. I'm Durbin. Thank you for checking out Durbania.